All right, so on to the next topic. E3 being canceled. It looks like they had, a little news coming up that they were just deciding that okay, they weren't going to do an actual show, and they're not even doing the digital show like they did what last year. They did one last year, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
they did
So
a
I
show
mean,
last year.
that's kind of a bummer, because E3 is like one of those big shows that I'm always looking forward to, to seeing and whatnot, and sometimes they do like a lot of big reveals, but I don't know if it's because a lot of companies just decided that they weren't going to show, so it wouldn't be lucrative for them to spend that money on the show like that, or what? What do you guys think is the issue? Why they decided that they would cancel it?
To me personally, I just feel like it's getting a little antiquated because nowadays PlayStation has their directs, Microsoft has their own showings, Nintendo has their little directs. Everyone who really matters kind of has their own events, and those are kind of like the go-to places for the latest and greatest news. I feel like E3 would just kind of have all the staggering because for some reason some of the like Sony doesn't even go to E3 anymore, correct? Like a lot of
They
Blizzard
have
doesn't go to E3 anymore. Like a lot of the big players opt for their own events. So I think this might be the beginning of the end for E3 in my opinion.
But does Microsoft have like their own like specific event? Because I know they've done that other thing, which like George Keeley or whatever he hosts or whatnot. That's like
The
the
Game
Summer
Awards.
of
Yeah.
Games or something like that, or the Game Awards. Yeah, they've showcased a lot of stuff there, but I don't think they have anything themselves like Sony has with like the state of plays and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. They don't have something like State of Play or the Nintendo Direct, but they still have they still have some when there's big news, they have some sort of online streaming showcasing. Hey, for whatever studio they're buying, I just feel like they're pretty good at being forthcoming about everything that's in their pipeline. So
Mm.
I don't know.
This is interesting to me because like I agree with Godly that I think in a way it is antiquated, but I think it's
That was Mark
but
that said
there's
that.
but there's something. Oh yeah, God, Mark Ray. There's something valuable about that antiquated experience though, of like going into an actual venue,
Yeah,
physically showing
man.
up with other gamers who are just excited as you, and
Bro,
actually
you remember how it
physically,
was with the PlayStation experience,
yeah,
man? That was like dope.
like the way we learn about games is moving forward and antiquated, but social settings and like things where people come together will never be antiquated. Like that's the human experience. And I think like having that human experience of like going someplace with a bunch of other people who are just as passionate as you and just as excited and like that experience I think is still valuable. And like so I hope this isn't the beginning of the end of E3, but I wouldn't be surprised because like I'm kind of like in the middle where like I agree with Mark that I think it kind of is, but at the same time, I see lots of value in having these actual physical places we go to and not
Mhm.
everything being where we're all in front of our screen and we don't ever go anywhere or get excited about coming together about things. Like I just would rather, I mean, I would go, like if I could go and they open up like I would go to it
Dude,
just for
I've
that whole
always wanted to go
experience.
to an E3, man. I've never had a chance to go to an E3, but that was like one of my goals, man, was to at least go to one E3. Be able
I
to
do
Yeah,
check it out.
think it's in need of revigoration, so hopefully it's better, but we'll see.
yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Sir Knight, there's no replacing the in-person experience. Getting together with a lot of people, like-minded individuals, enjoying, the things, that you guys enjoy together. So, whether that be like Comic Con or any kind of big event, I don't think I think there'll be a place for all types of events. But my point was, I think that it'll be more, little more like tailored, like PlayStation. Hopefully, they have their PlayStation experiences coming back, and I just think it'll be more like BlizzCon kind of events, and
Mm.
move away more like of these kind of generic events because everyone just wants to be the focus, have the center stage, and sometimes at E3, everyone's kind of competing, so they would rather just have their own events on the side. But I just like Golly said, I always wanted to go to E3 my whole life, so I would like to go one day, but I don't know if that'll be a possibility.
Yeah.
It's just
I mean,
I
they said
think,
it'll be back in 2023. Hopefully, no shit goes down that prevents that. But
I hope the new reinvigorated showcase also is a little bit more open to public, open
yeah,
to the
instead of
public,
being so damn secluded and
I just
freaking.
think that I agree with you like on principle for sure, because I think it's cheaper for Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo to just do directs, right? Like, or they do, PlayStation showcases or state of plays. Like, they reach just as many people, they get just as many millions of views, and they don't have to build a whole program and a venue and only have a few thousand people come. I just think like I don't want to. The notion of coming together isn't antiquated, but the way we make money and advertise our games, this is an old antiquated way of doing it, and it's not cost effective. And so like I worry about like how it will change, how we I guess report and how games are delivered to the public if we're not.
Mhm.
I think having a set time in the year though is important. Like I do think having like a set time in the year where everyone knows, okay, it's game
Look forward to
announcements
it.
like season, right? Because that's
Yeah.
kind of like E3 was like, it was like a season of game announcements of what's to come in the industry. I do think having like a set time of the year where like that's happening is really valuable, rather than just it being scattered all throughout the year. I think having like one set time of the year, like the summertime, is a really cool thing to get the industry excited and get people
Mhm.
ready to see what's coming. I just don't know how it will change.
Yeah, for sure.
I love you, me.